Welcome back. You're listening to Kim Ariano and Walk the Talk with Kim, and we have our guests in studio today, Lindsay Masters of DECA, and we have Jerry Pearson with Pearson Law Firm. Before we jump back and close out the show, I did want to let you know that one of our sponsors, Deb Ducharme, who was on the show about 4 weeks ago now, she's with Votre-Vu. She wanted me to remind all of you that the Christmas packs are out with Votre-Vu skincare products, and they've got some really screaming deals. I was actually on there, and they do have some really nice stuff for your face. And Votre-Vu is a skincare company out of France. And you can go to my website at www.walkthetalkwithkim and go to the Votre-Vu link to look at all the specials that are available in the month of December for your Christmas gift items. And so, welcome back, Jerry. We were talking about things that you need to keep in mind of as you are talking about specifically insurance. And so it sounds to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Pearson Law does work with, auto accidents and things.
Oh,
and
sure.
that
Absolutely.
the relationship with the insurance company, in addition to all of the parties, really comes into play with a lot of the things that you work on.
It does almost immediately, and you can try to imagine what a world would be like if you didn't have to deal with insurance. You would still have crashes, between cars. You still have negligence on the part of drivers. You still have comparative fault issues, but it's the insurance that provides many times the resources to try to make the injured people whole. What I mean by that is to try to provide some form of restitution for them. Sometimes we talk about restitution in a criminal setting where somebody has damaged someone's property, and a judge will say, well, I'm going to, order you to make restitution for this harm. In addition, you're going to have to do A, B, and C for communities, things like that, or serve time, things like that. So restitution in an injury sense is making sure the injured party's bills are paid, making sure their health care is covered, whether it's the future needs or current needs they have, property damage issues. Those are kinds of forms of restitution. And one of the things that we mentioned was insurance. With a high percentage of people who don't have insurance, you really have to make sure you have coverage on your own vehicle for uninsured drivers. And that coverage is coverage that you pay for.
Is
there's a
that
premium
required
charge for that.
insurance?
It's not mandatory to have uninsured, like to have uninsured motorist or underinsured motorist coverage. But with the high percentage of people out there, it's really one of the most prudent investments, as is what they call personal injury protection coverage. And one of the reasons those are important is those are your coverages, and that means your company, the company that insures you, that you pay, they owe you a certain legal duty. That doesn't mean you get everything you want, and it sometimes does really become an adversarial process, and they still have the economics of delay, deny claims, etc. That's still there. But if you're dealing with your own company, you're really entitled to a higher level of respect, a higher level of good faith. And there are legal remedies available if you're not getting that from your own company. But that's a big issue.
When should somebody call you? I mean, when's that? Because I've been in accidents. Yes, I've been in multiple. None of them were my fault. That's not true. Some of them were my fault. But I was a magnet in my 20s. Lindsay, be a careful driver. Your 20s are not good for driving. So, I'm sorry, just word of caution. If my dad's listening, he's gone, yeah, I had a beautiful 1987 Camaro that I wrecked on Christmas Day, 1986, but we won't talk about that.
I'm sure your father's forgotten that.
No, he brings it up every once in a while when he needs to. But anyway, I'm sorry, I digress. Sorry, Dad. But, sorry, didn't mean to bring that up. This is that horrible
Dads
memory.
are entitled to apologies, too. It matters to us.
That was a traumatic family event, to say the least. But I've been involved in little fender benders, right? So, you get a little fender bender, they get out, they look at their car, you look at your car, not a big deal, here's, $50 or whatever, or call me and let me know, but let's deal with this outside of the insurance. I did that one time and got sued for about $20,000. Yeah. When should somebody call for legal representation? When does that first little inkling of, this isn't going in my favor?
Yeah, I don't.
When should they call you?
I think I tell people many times you don't really need a lawyer, but that doesn't mean you don't need some guidance. Mm-hmm. One of the things that Michelle, my spouse and partner, has said frequently about our work is that we really do believe that expert intervention, as early as possible, can really make a difference for all of us. That's medical intervention when you've got a diagnostic issue or a severe threat to your health. you know, early information, early expertise. I don't mean just going to Google, but I mean early qualified expertise can make a difference quickly. So many times when we talk to people, they've had an event, they're confused as to what to do. We give them advice, recommendations, direction, and we may never hear back from them. We don't charge for that. Most law firms that do that, they don't necessarily have to become the lawyer for that person. So sometimes the reputation of the profession and the industry is that, you know, it's pay as you go. You're talking to me, tick-tock, baby. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm sending you a bill. Do you have any idea who I am? Do you have any idea? You know, like that kind of ego-driven stuff. Most of the colleagues that I meet deal with on a day-in and day-out basis, not just locally, but regionally and, you know, across the country. They're people who want to help solve problems. And they really offer the expertise many times without necessarily becoming the counsel of record or taking it into a legal case. And most legal cases do not necessarily involve what most of us think of as lawsuits. They don't. Most legal cases do not. And if a claim has a lot of merit, it can be resolved. I tell people you don't need a lawyer unless a lawyer can make a difference. That doesn't mean you don't need some legal direction. But people can manage their own affairs. People are very competent in business and many other things, but when they're outside their comfort level and when they should be focusing on their health and on their family and on getting back to work and on getting over an injury, that's when a law firm like ours, I think, can really make a difference. We can really contribute to that.
So tell us about what your services provide and how we can get a hold of you. And anybody out there has any
I think in general what we've done over the years, and I've been practicing since 1977, there's not too many legal cases that involve injuries to people that we haven't handled, whether it's defective products or hazards on property, things like that. And I will tell you, because you gave me the opportunity, so here it comes. I have met in 33 years 2 frauds.
Oh.
2. And I know the general belief in the public is that there's an enormous amount of fraud going on. And I'm not saying there isn't fraud out there, but in 33 years of practice, I have met 2.
Legal fraud.
2 people who were lying, cheating, making up. So the vast majority of people that I have represented and that I have ever even met in my professional life genuinely had a problem and genuinely needed some help and genuinely benefited from information. And, you know, we do that when people call us.
And what's the number that people call you at?
You know, the toll-free number is 1-800-423-8473. And, you know, beyond that, we have a website, and we also have a local number, which is 425-831-3100.
Give us that toll-free number one more time.
Yeah, toll-free, it's 1-800-423-8473, and that works coast to coast.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you for coming on the show today.
You're welcome.
We're going to have you come back on because I want an update on what's going on with the Veterans Advocacy Guild.
Happy to do it. Thanks.
Definitely, for sure. And thank you, Lindsay, so much for coming on today. You did absolutely fantastic. We're very proud of you. Again, if you want to volunteer, please go to www.walkthetalkwithkim. Get this information. Get information for Pearson Law Firm. And this show was brought to you today by Pearson Law Firm. Expert representation, a wealth of experience, and a kind, compassionate attitude. That's the Pearson promise. Thank you and have a wonderful week. Perfect timing.
The views expressed on the preceding
Perfect.
program.